Pivot. Now, when you hear the word pivot, you might think, well, what does that mean? Is that how the body moves? And yes, that's the important thing to think about. And the body in the golf swing is really the engine and the driver. And I really like to talk through that with the clients that I work with, because when you're nervous, the blood flows to the big muscles in your body. So if we're able to focus on the big muscles in our body, that is what is going to work under pressure. We don't want to be thinking about the small muscles in our hands, because the blood's not flowing there, especially once we start to get nervous if we're playing with our boss for the first time, or trying to win the club championship, or even trying to win on the PGA Tour. So what is the proper pivot? You might have heard, well, it's a turn back and a turn through. And in some instances, that is correct. But if we're going to want to generate the proper leverage and speed in the golf swing, I like to think of it more as a load, a press, and then a turn. So what do I mean by that? Well, once we get into our good golf posture, we want to load on the way back. And I like to think about it as a spiral up from the ground up. So we want to work from the ground up. So we're here, we're going to spiral up the pressure through that right leg, the inside of that right foot, all the way up into the right hip. You're going to feel some load into that right hip or trail hip, some load into that right shoulder. Now, the big issue I see with amateur players is they get on the outside of their right heel. And with that, it's really hard to get back to your left side, and you're going to end up hitting behind it or hitting it thin. So the real big key moving back is we want to spiral up that pressure, staying on the loading on the inside of that right foot, feeling some pressure, some load in that right hip, and some load into that right shoulder. Now from there, we're gonna press into our left side or our lead side. And we're pressing in. It's really important. You almost can't start this move soon enough. Just if I was throwing a ball like a pitcher, you're gonna see they're gonna start moving to their lead side before they finish their arms going back. So it's the same feel. As we load, we start to shift to the left, and then as we press into that lead side, the ground is gonna push back. It's kind of the buzzword in golf right now, is this ground reaction force. That's how we generate speed and power, but we can only get it if we press into that lead side. The ground will push back. That gives us speed and leverage to push us all the way to our finish. We're a straight left leg, our knees close together, and the club head through both, bisecting both of our ears into a good, balanced. Now, you could practice this at home without even having a club. So the best way to do that, get in your golf posture, put your left hand on your right shoulder, right hand in front of you if you're right-hander, and just practice spiraling up the pressure through your right side, starting on the inside of that right ankle, working up into the right hip and into the right shoulder as we move up. And then as we begin to finish, we begin to press into that lead side, down into a good impact, and then the ground pushes up into a good balanced finish. Knees are close together. I'm in a good finished position. So you can practice that at home 10 times a day. You'll be amazed at what that does for your pivot when you get out on the golf course.